Hi everyone, Lady Bacha, the Crafty Atelier is here with the 6th Gelfling in the series. So here I'm using the Cave Club, I forget her name. She had blue hair, I think. She does have a couple scratches on her nose, but we're gonna do her ears. I bought this forming foam stuff. It's just an air dry weird fluffy cloud. That's what it seemed like. I got some new sculpting tools, which were cool. So yeah, I'm going to put these on, and I do have to say these are sandable. They're, you know, all that kind of stuff. They're flexible still to a point. They take paint really well. The only thing is, I don't think I was doing it right. I think you're supposed to use some water or something like that, and it just, I don't know. I think I have to practice with this medium, but yeah, I had time to sculpt some little creases and things like that. They dried overnight, and the thing is, I could still pull them off, so I had to actually glue them back on. So it sort of like formed around the ear, so it's more like an ear cuff or like a something like that. So I glued them back on, and I made some holes for earrings. So this is what I'm working with. I don't use all of it. I just didn't know really what to do. So, but this right here I found at the dollar store. They're just patches and for clothing. And so I ironed 2 of them together back to back and used those for the wings. So here I tried to color match. Of course, acrylic dries a lot darker. I already put the magnet in. But I ended up putting gold on the ears in the end. So here are the wings. I wanted them to be more like dragonfly wings than butterfly wings, so I tried to do that. I know that the markings that I put on are more butterfly than dragonfly, but I think they turned out really cute. And they're so much better in person with how the light shines on it. It's pretty fantastic. It's this really luminescent kind of color. So this is what I did. I just used a Sharpie and put it on both sides, and this is what we have. I really like how they turned out. So there we go. Yay. And they do shimmer a lot, so which is really cool. So, and here we are. We have the first layer on, the sketch layers on. I did give her some gold shimmer on her body. She's supposed to be a bit more spiritual, a bit more mysterious than the other ones, and she lives in the desert, in the crystal desert, so I gave her a little bit thinner eyes, a little bit more of a sleepy kind of look, more of a dreamy kind of look, because she does dream fast. So dream fasting is basically like sharing memories and things in this dreamlike state with other Gelfling. For her though, she can actually like communicate with ancestors, so other past Gelflings. Yeah, I also cut off one of her fingers. Just put that in there. I cut one of them off. I was like, we'll try it, because Gelfling do only have four fingers and 4 toes, but the toes are a different kind of plastic, so I didn't even bother. So but I might go back in with my other dolls and cut off a finger if I feel like it. But yeah, so I did give her some gold, yellow, and some blue, some dark blue skin coloring on her forehead and the sides of her face. And then I went in with my black pencil to make some big wrinkles on her eyelids, just to kind of give, again, that kind of sleepy look. I did shade them a bit. Of course, no eyebrows, because Gelflings don't have eyebrows. But I just gave a little bit of shadow there to hint at some sort of eyebrow bone, at least. So I think it turned out all right. I gave her some purple lips. You don't see me do too much because I did have to cut this down. This was like an hour and a half of footage, so I had to cut it down a bit. And yeah, I think she turned out really good. I know I can do better on her hat. That was like the main thing. So she doesn't have hair. And yeah, I think the face up turned out really well. I think that the execution or materials could have been chosen better for the hat though. So here's the other sketch, and here I do some tattoos. That's the Deucin sign, or the clan or tribal marking. That's what it looks like. So I'm using some rose gold to paint over it, and in the actual show, what's it called? Like the dark crystal show. These markings are usually like in a silver color or silver blue color. I went with gold because I think it looked a whole lot better on her skin tone. It didn't look as harsh. It didn't look as uninviting as this warmer rose gold on the tanner skin tone. I just like it better. I don't know why. I just think it's more welcoming. It's less harsh. And so I didn't want to go with that because this character's not supposed to be a distant, kind of like emotionally distant or anything. She's supposed to be very warm and inviting, even though she doesn't talk very much. So yeah, I just drew a couple swirlies, and I think it looked pretty good. I wanted to go above and beyond, but you know, less is more in this case. So yeah, I will be putting on her gear a little bit later. It took me a minute to get everything done. I did have to glue a portion of her dress on her due to a malfunction. But yeah, other than that, I think it turned out okay. I tried to keep the color scheme fairly simple. Golds, blues, that kind of thing. And if you look here, before I did the markings, I did her eyelashes, and now I did them facing down, just like Taryn's. And I really like this. It's very pretty. It's very sultry. It's sort of, you know, almost like bedroom eyes to me. But yeah, I hope you guys like it. And I will be getting her story here at the end, so stay tuned for that. And there's going to be one Gelfling left. So one clan left to do. I'm very excited. So that will be in between some face-ups that I've gotten in for commissions. And yes, commissions are still open until the weather gets bad and until it starts to get cold again. So there's that. Yeah, her name is Nacimi, and I actually really enjoyed her face up, even though it's fairly simple, I think. But I think she's just so pretty. I think she's prettier than most of my other ones that I have already done. So yeah, I don't know, that's just me. But here I'm going to gloss, and then I'm going to put her together, and I will get back to you when her story comes around. Thanks, guys. The Dusin were a people that lived in the crystal sea and rode crystal skimmers. They gathered at the well springs, as it was the main body of water that sustained their clan. The Dusin spoke the least out of the Gelfling clans, as water is wasted when one talked. Instead, they used voye, which is a sign language of sorts. They are also considered spiritual and able to walk the veil between life and death, able to dream fast, sharing memories between other Gelfling. The Dusin were the best at this. Another thing that sets them apart is their minimal living, except the Dusin do use body tattoos as decoration. Other than the Maudra, the Dusin have an elevated Gelfling with special abilities. The Dusin's high priestess Nacimi was revered within her clan for being the best spiritualist around. She was graceful in her voye or hand talking, so she didn't talk much, but when she did, the clan listened. She spent most of her time dream fasting and learning what the ancestors had to say. One warm day, Nacimi was dream fasting when the ancestors brought her a vision of a stonewood Gelfling seeking her out, and the sense of destiny permeated the vision. She knew she had to start her journey to meet this Gelfling, as she felt there was something big at play that would change all of Thra. Nacimi, being solitary, wrote a note to the Maudra that she would return one day after Thra was not in danger anymore. With that, she packed her meager things and left on her crystal skimmer a giant stingray-like glider named Roland. As she made her way to the edge of the desert, she kept having a feeling of destiny as she bedded down for the night, knowing the soldier Gelfling was over the ridge watching her. In the morning, she petted Roland and sent him home as she headed straight to the soldier. Taran was taken back by the Gelfling's bravery as she turned up at his own camp, both standing facing each other, silent. Taran spoke first. "High Priestess," he said, in disbelief. Nacimi just nodded, and with that they joined up and headed out in search of the Dark One.